What's a happening, nerds? It's John Nerding Out with Cards, and this is this weekend's installment of Ozzie Smith Weekend. There was a card show today, the Machinist Hall card show, one I've never been to before. I wasn't able to make it, and I guess that was kind of like a happy accident in a sense, but we had prioritized, going to this town called Belleville, Illinois, and there's this Christmas market thing there and whatnot. And then we were having like a Christmas thing with my parents later on in the evening. But what the whole happy accident thing was is there's this shop, Fan of Collectors Corners, that I had heard of, and I've kind of wanted to go to, but it's one of those things. It's like a half hour away, and so I just haven't prioritized the time and the effort to go there. And it just so happened, I mean, it's in Belleville. And so we went out to lunch, some pizza place, and well, right across the street is the shop. So stopped in there. I definitely want to go there again. They had a bunch of great stuff. But tis the season, and buying Christmas stuff for other people, and then you'll see in subsequent videos I've had a pretty good time on the eBay filling out a certain collection. But what was awesome is I have mentioned in passing kind of that there was two Ozzie Smith bobbleheads from this past season, and I didn't see those at the last Orlando Garden show that I went to, but they happened to have one of them at the shop. I also got another item at the shop, but that's going to be in a later video because it's not Ozzie Smith. But anyway, it's this 1985 trio bobblehead where you got Ozzie, Rookie of the Year 1985 Vince Coleman, and National League MVP 1985 Willie McGee. And then Ozzie's my guy. He hit that amazing walk-off home run in the NLCS. This is really cool bobblehead, and on the eBay it's not cheap, I'll tell you that. Yeah, so I was just like, I hope I can find it here locally now that I am local. And holy cow, the price on this thing was just like shocking. The sticker was $40, way under the eBay price, and it comes in this box. If you're wondering why the other players are on it, they did too. There's a batting one which has Ozzie on it, and then there's a pitching one that has John Tudor, Danny Cox, and then Jerry's guy, Joaquin Andujar. So it comes in this cool box. But like I said, the sticker price is $40, and then all bobbleheads that today were 25% off. So I got that thing for $30. It's like a hot dog. I mean, this thing is super, super sweet. So this is my newest Ozzie addition to my collection, because I collect the bobbleheads and stuff. So anyway, 1985, that was my year. So I'm a real sucker for that. So it's amazing. There's one more I still need to get, but whatever. That one's actually easier and cheaper to find, relatively speaking, to the trio bobblehead. So anyway, moving on from that awesome accidental pickup. I think for this Ozzie Smith Weekend video, I'm just gonna show off some autograph cards that I have of Ozzie. I've showed them before on my channel, but there's a reason why I am deciding to show off autograph cards and making that a theme of tonight's video, and I will speak to that once I get there. Now, the first one I'm going to show, and it's really like a match for that trio bobblehead, but is this 1985 Topps copy that I had autographed by the Wizard, and y'all are very familiar with the backs, but this was an in-person autograph. I spoke about this before, but last year while I was on leave, and Ozzie was doing uh, this like promotional meet and greet, signing autographs all around the St. Louis area. But one day he was at 3 locations in my hometown, and I went to one of the 3 and had him sign this card. And what he was promoting, and actually I'll grab it because it's right here. But he's got this drink cocktail or whatever. It's called Backflip, and this is just one of the flavors. I figured I would keep 1 can. I know they were asking like, "Hey, do you want him to sign the can?" I was like, "No, I really want him to sign the baseball card." But the lady, she said this was Ozzie's favorite flavor, so I was like, sure, I'll buy a 4-pack, and I kept 1 can. But it was at that event that I had Ozzie sign this 1985 Topps card, and the reason why I picked that over, all the cards I've showed that are awesome cards and whatnot, it was this just because it was the year I was born. Other cards I think would have been smarter for as far as like value. Might have been cooler, like the 94 Fleer Pro Vision card, things like that. But maybe I'll get to meet Ozzie again one day. Maybe I won't. But either way, I thought that was really neat, and it was free, So I already had the card. And if I really, really wanted this card autographed, to go on the eBay, not that it's terribly expensive, but it still costs money that I could put towards other cards. Now, the next card I'm going to show is, it's a huge, huge card. I got a great deal on it, I think. As I picked it up for like $90 or something. But it's his rookie card. And the reason why I got it cheaper is just because, where he signed it. And what I'll tell you is, like, in person, this actually does look better than what I'm able to capture here on the screen. But he did sign it in that darker part of the Padres jersey. And it is what it is. I think it's awesome either way. And I have an autographed copy of his rookie card. So, that's pretty damn sweet. The next card I'm going to show, and I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, but yeah, I have showed this before. It was in a pickup video, but this 2003 Fleer Greats. And, I talked about it, like, they have this copy, which is autographed, and then they have an unautographed copy. The autographed copy is numbered out of 202. The non-autographed copy is numbered out of 2002. But it's pretty sweet. Not only does it have the "This is Authentic" stuff here on the bottom, but it also has a nice write-up of Ozzie. And this one's just so sweet because, it's got that post stamp. It's really celebrating his induction into the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame that year, which, John over at JW's Dugout, he just did his part of his series for the Hall of Fame inductions, got to 2002, and I shared that video on a post. Highly recommend go checking it out. But the 4th and final autograph card I have of Ozzie is this next one. But before I get to that, it's like I've had a couple other autograph cards of Ozzie Smith, but it's just one of those things where I've met other Ozzie Smith collectors via that Facebook group, and there's amongst us there's there's very, very prolific collectors, and then there's, I would say, dedicated collectors that just have their resources are what they are. All of us have varying different resources and capabilities and all that other stuff. And I met one guy on there, and I got to know him a little bit. I think a really good guy. He's just got limited resources, and it was in conversation with him. He did not have an autographed Ozzie Smith card, and I was just like, shoot, I have several, and it felt odd, like bogarting that, an autographed card when I think, he would value it more than I would. And so there's situations like that, like cool card, but I already have another copy of the card that's not autographed, and I have other autographed cards, as you can see, and so it's, hoarding and trying to get more and more Ozzie Smith autograph cards is just not something I really want to do. I just want them all to kind of make sense. Like you saw with these three, there's a reason behind them. One, I got to meet them. I mean, shoot, right? But 85, and I already explained the reason why. Obviously, the rookie card is a pretty seminal card, and then this one's just a really cool theme card, right? So I like that. Now, why am I talking about autograph cards tonight? And it's because of this card, and I'll go ahead and show it. And if you've seen and heard this story before, I apologize, but this 1992 Upper Deck autographed Ozzie Smith card, and I love, love, love this card. It's got Ozzie in the field, fielding a ball. It's autographed. It's those early Upper Deck cards, which I like. And but it's also a special card, right? Because it was a part of their Diamond Skills little subset within the set, or whatever you want to call it. Not an insert, but just a different part of the set. And it's best defensive player. And I love that. Awesome write up of the card of Ozzie on the back of the card. But this one was a Christmas present from my dad, and we were stationed in Norfolk at the time, and he was on the USS Key West, and it was re-home porting from Norfolk to Pearl Harbor. So he was gone for quite a while. I mean, months and months. I'm gonna show something else here. I have it on my desk, but so he rode the sub out from from Norfolk all the way out there. If I can get this out, but he went through the Panama Canal, which I have gotten to do myself. So that's really neat. But anyway, while he was out there in at Pearl, there was this card shop, and he had picked this up, this Ozzie Smith autograph card for me, and it was a Christmas present. And so this was like 95 or 96 or something. So obviously, this is the last weekend before Christmas, and I was just thinking about this card. It's an autograph card, and I was like, well, I don't have too many of those, so this won't be terribly long. And it's just kind of fun to show off, talk about. I know a lot of us, our childhood heroes were players that we got to watch and everything. So it's like, hopefully maybe you've gotten to meet your childhood heroes and things, or gotten to meet your favorite players, have autograph cards in your collection, if those are things that you kind of collect, and I think this is these kind of cards are relatable to a lot of people. And obviously Tony Southern Collector loves autograph cards, but his autographs, I mean, he's getting historical with his collection, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I was thinking about this card, the time of the year, all that. I mean, I've had this card for about 30 years, And what's funny is, as awesome as these cards are, this is number one, and I would say this one's actually number two, because I was there with my son. He got his baseball autographed, and then these two are just cool for different reasons, but I would definitely say that these are more meaningful. Less valuable, but definitely more meaningful within my small or minimal Ozzie Smith autographs that I have within my collection. But yeah, this is how I'm nerding out, some nostalgia and everything, and you all nerd your own way.